Hi everyone, this is Waldorf,
And this is Statler.
and we're going to do the review of the Path of Sand. These are the Undying Dynasties.
As opposed to the Path of Stone.
Sandstone.
Sandstone, yeah, it could be.
That works. But Undying Dynasties, the only army that has access to this lore. Path. That's can be a real pain, isn't it? Anyway, the attribute.
We'll get it straight right before they rename it.
Yeah, we'll get it straight right before we stop doing these.
Yes.
Once we get through the last one, I'm sure we'll get it right every time after that.
Until September when we have to do them again.
Good point. All right. Path attribute. No rest in death. Range 6 inches. It's an augment. Instant. The spell can either choose target as a normal within range, or it can choose to target the same unit as the spell triggering the attribute is targeting. There's a lot of non-English in there, isn't there?
There's a lot of writing for. You can put it on anybody.
You can target somebody normally within range, or choose your own unit.
Yes.
Is that what it's saying? Okay.
No, or the same as a spell that triggered the attribute. Yes.
Okay. Anyway, a target unit or a single character inside the target unit raises a number of wound, as stated in the unit's profile under Risen. Characters and models with large target cannot raise more than 2 wounds from the spell in a single magic phase. A unit that doesn't have a Risen value cannot be targeted by this spell. Alright, so you raise wounds with the lore attribute, path attribute.
Yes.
Okay, fine. Or target a character or whatever. This is the one attribute that the goblins can't steal.
Right.
Simply because it doesn't do them any good, because no goblin unit has the Risen value.
Mm-hmm. And you've played against Undying Dynasties a number of times, so
I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really good lore attribute, path attribute. Really. Anyway, it's a really good path attribute. Works for the army, right?
Yes.
All right.
That brings us to the Desert Wind. 5 up to cast, 11 in the boosted version, range 18, 12 aura, augment.
Really?
Duration is instant. Target may perform an X magical move where X is equal to the unit's movement characteristic or its fly value. So basically you can perform a magical move up to your movement value.
Okay.
Once again, quite often this is not a particularly, depending on your build, it can be a slow moving army. Of course, they do have a lot of big things, so but allows you to get the army forward into the grill pretty quickly. And casting value 5 is low for a straight up move.
Yeah, but don't remember it. I mean, got to remember it's not just the move; it's move and heal.
Yeah, and then you have the 11 aura, which is a little tougher to cast, and you're going to bring everybody, basically everyone in your if you're close to your general in your whole march bubble forward a few more inches. So it's a nice core attribute, and I think it fits the army well.
Yeah, I think this is fantastic. I mean, it's dirt cheap. The thing is, you spam this dirt cheap thing at 5 just to raise units.
Yes.
I mean, get units back up
to heal units.
Number 1 spell, Cursed Blades. Or is it Cursed?
Cursed.
Anyway, cast on a 5, boost to a 10, range is 18, range is 12. Oh god, range is 12 aura. Last one turn, target gains lethal strike. Attacks that already had lethal strike may re-roll their failed to wounds in close combat. Again, casting on a 5, range 18, fantastic. And lethal strike, really good. Lethal strike, re-rolling your lethal strike, even better.
Re-roll fail the wounds.
Correct.
So you're hoping for re-rolling the lethal strike quite often, but yeah, just fail the wounds.
Yeah.
The lethal strike is a nice thing to have because it's not limited to the troop type that it's fighting against, like a lot of the ones that come with units.
Correct.
Which is nice. And 5 up, it's definitely worth casting on a single unit. I don't know. I guess it depends on your opponent if the aura is as important. But hey, it's an option to have it if you need it.
Yeah, it's an option. It's a really good spell.
And you'll grow more guys if you get it off with a 5.
Correct.
That brings us to Deadly Desiccation. Not to be confused with Deadly Defecation.
Yes.
What happened after that chicken I ate a little while ago? His casting value is 7. The boosted version is only 9. The range is 24. Last one turn. The target has -1 toughness in the boosted version and -1 strength to a maximum of 1.
Wow.
So this is basically kind of like a variable inverse version of the wild form spell.
Yeah, if you cast it on a 9, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the exact same.
It does the exact same, just the
minus
other way
1,
around. Yeah. So, but you also have the 7 version, so it's just to cast one thing if you don't want to.
Which I've always said what the wild form is missing.
Yes, exactly. If you don't want to throw that extra dice at it, so you can do 2 dice or 3 dice. I really like this spell a lot.
I think this is a fantastic spell.
I think anyone would love to have this spell.
Yeah. 7 for a +1,
Yeah.
-1 toughness to your enemy. Again.
Particularly if you're building things in the army. There's a lot of things in the army that have low to medium strength. Taking the big gribblies out of the equation and such, but the chariots aren't particularly strong, and
or just peg somebody with this before you open fire with those archers that always hit on
a 5. And
a
then you
5.
have all those freaking 5 to hit always poison archers, yes.
Yeah.
Which are strength 3.
Not poison, but
I'm sorry, not poison, but
always hitting on 5s.
The arrows,
Asperos.
always hitting on 5s, yeah.
Yeah, I think this is incredible.
Yeah, no, this is a very nice spell, but I mean it's in line with other things we've seen. So
yeah, seems to be.
Yeah.
The thing you have to look at all these, they really kind of need to be one better cast. Anyway, my opinion was they should be at least 1 higher, because not only giving them -1 toughness, you're also raising a bunch of your own.
Yeah, the attribute is very strong, and frankly, reducing toughness is a little better than
Boosting.
Improving strength.
Is it? Yeah, because if multiple units are going, yes,
exactly,
correct. That was Deadly Desiccation. So now number 3 is Righteous Smiting. This casts on a 7, boost to a 12. The range is 18, and it has a 12-inch aura.
Oh.
Okay, I was waiting for that. All right, last one turn. Target gains either +1 attack, or all aspen bows, great aspen bows, and giant aspen bows in the target unit gain multiple shots too. Choose which for each target when casting this spell.
Aspen, Colorado.
Aspen, Colorado. Anything in Colorado gets +1 attack if you cast the spell.
Okay.
It's fairly limited.
Yes.
But I'm sure those Western players in the Western region love this spell.
Yes, exactly.
Anyway, the 7 up for +1 attack. Great spell.
Very nice.
Boost it to a 12, or not only +1. I mean, you got what I always see this happen. This unit of, I don't know, whatever they are, 24 archers.
Yep.
They cast this on it on a 7, they got 48 shots hitting you.
Yep, and there's multi-shots, and since they don't have to pay the -1 because they always hit on 5s.
There's no penalty there.
There's no penalty.
There's no penalty there. And they're all hitting you on 5, skirmish, whatever.
Yep.
This is just devastating.
Yep.
It's a great spell for the Tomb Kings, for the Undying Dynasties.
No, absolutely.
It's a really good spell.
Brings us to Divine Judgment. How can you be dead and be divine? How's that work? A skeleton, I should say, and be divine.
Well, believe me.
Yeah.
I grew up in a church. Divine.
Kinds
whenever you talk about divine, somebody's getting judged.
Yes, that's true.
That's the way it is.
Yeah. Casting value.
I guess I should bring the legend.
Yes.
Okay.
Casting
I
value
apologize for that one.
is this 8. No anger here.
All right, moving on.
Boosted version is 10. Range is 36. I'm going to move to another chair. It's a hex, and it's damage, and it's instant. The boosted version, roll a d6 on a 3 plus Choose an additional target within 6 inches of a target. Continue rolling until you roll a 1 or 2. Choosing new targets within 6 inches from the previous one on a 3-up. No unit can be chosen. So basically, you can jump from unit to unit
On a 3-up.
on a 3-up. Kind of like the heaven spell.
Correct.
Target must take a leadership test with an additional d6. If failed, for each point the test is failed by, the target suffers 1 wound with armor piercing 6.
Yep.
So this is very nice against war machines and medium, small monster type troops.
Bouncing on a 3-up, this thing just rips through my army.
Yeah.
And eventually you
and then,
start
of
on a
course-
unit that's in range, and then all of a sudden it's out of the range of the bubble, and you're destroying units,
Right.
especially on low leadership armies.
Low leadership, but at least you have, I said, when you have bigger units, this isn't so scary. It's not the big units that are.
Big
I mean,
units
you
and
don't-
bubbles don't care about this.
Yeah, you don't care about it. It's not that. It's the.
When it gets to your little units that are outside
it's
the
your
bubble,
chaff,
they
it's your
just
war
get
machines, and your
destroyed.
monsters, and things that are outside.
Correct. Now this is the same spell that is bound onto the casket.
Yes.
Their what is it? Their war
And the thing
machine
is, you keep rolling, and if you don't cause any damage, so that's the.
correct. If you use the boosted version,
Yeah.
which is too higher than the regular
Yes,
version,
yes,
so
yes.
why not? I think the only reason the unboosted version is in there is for the bound item that's on their war machine, so they can't bounce with that one.
Right. Right.
Because I think you rarely see it cast on an 8, unless it's hitting a single unit that's on a flank or something,
Right.
where it doesn't have a chance
Happens
to
not
bounce.
to bounce, or you're trying to conserve dice for something else.
Anyway, yeah, this spell is another bane of my existence since I play the Undying Dynasties often.
Yeah. It's a nice spell, and it's one that you often don't, depending on your army, in target paper, and since it goes so far, it can pretty much hit everything on the
Yeah.
table if your mage is centrally positioned.
Yeah. Spell 5 is Shifting Sands. Cast on a 9, boost up to a 12, range 24, boost to 48. It's a hex, lasts 1 turn. Target has minus D3 to its movement, to a minimum of 1, and treats all terrains, including open terrain, as dangerous terrain. 2. Ooh, so you're failing on 1s and 2s. Okay. Cast on a 9, range 24. Great spell. I like this a lot.
Yeah, this is kind of similar to the Curse of Amhar. What is this?
Amhar now, I think.
Whatever it's called.
Yes, the
In
one
the
that's in the
Wilderness. Yeah.
Yeah, except that one also gives you, what, the -1 to hit?
Yes.
I don't know about the casting cost, but
I think I have to look again, but I
this
believe
one
it's the same. This
gives
is,
you minus D3 movement.
right, so it's kind of equivalent.
Well, this one's really crushing is in fact that it's minus D3 movement and dangerous terrain. So now, with the other spell, you can still use your normal move
Right.
without taking dangerous terrain.
Right.
This one is probably going to lower you close to moving 1
Yeah.
safely.
Mhm.
So anyway, really nice spell.
Yes.
And 9 is not a hard casting cost.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's a nice spell.
Yep.
That brings us to the last spell, the semi-uber spell in the lore, in the path.
Semi-uber.
Yes, Ancient Glory. It's unusual that it has so many casting values for being the big spell.
Yeah.
Base
true.
value is 10. Boosted value is 15. The super boosted value is 17. Range is 18 for the base. Range is 19 aura for the boosted. Range is 15 aura for the super boosted.
I had to leave it there, didn't you?
Couldn't stop. Augment. Last 1 turn in the regular version remains in play for both the boosted and super boosted version. Target gains +1 to its weapon skill, strength, and initiative. This can be very helpful for an army that generally has relatively low initiative. Initiative being pretty important. Of course, when you can add +1 strength, it's always a good thing.
Yep.
The,
+1 weapon skill pushes you over that
+1
curve.
weapon skill can. I mean, a lot of the guys are The skeletons are 2s, aren't
Yeah,
they?
but this is pushing you up to
Yeah.
that range where you're only getting hit on 4s now
Sure.
instead of 3s
Right.
a lot of times.
And then, but for some of the bigger guys, like the monstrous infantry or the snake riders and all that, I think they tend to have higher
Yeah, they do.
weapon skills, so it makes them a little more hitty.
Hmm.
I think the base version is fine. I won't say it's great, but I think it's fine. The boosted version, that's a lot of dice to. Yes, it's an aura, but if you really want it, I guess you go for it. And you can often afford to, risk your mages in this in this lore, just because as long as they don't go down the hole, you're going to gain back your wounds. But
Correct.
yeah,
Now, how I've seen this played, and what makes this a really good spell, is on the opening turns, before you're engaged in combat, before you need some of those combat buffs that are up there. I've seen this cast on the higher ones, the 15 or 17,
right. They get the army
and
going.
just let it set in remains in play
Yeah,
to where somebody's going to have to get rid of it sooner or later. And they're decent. It's a decently high casting cost.
yeah, and there's a lot of good range.
But
There's a few good range spells in here.
yeah, I agree. This is not what I would call a really great spell,
Right.
but it's a decent spell.
I think it's a decent spell.
So looking back down the list, we have one decent spell. Everything else very good.
It's good to very good. A lot of low casting values, which
Mm-hmm.
I rather like for this army, just because you think of this army as being, heavy magic,
Heavy magic army.
and how you show that in Ninth Age is you're able to cast a lot of spells because they have lower casting values, because you still only have so many dice to work with.
That's true.
Even that special item, which we'll talk about when we talk about
the Undying Dynasty's army.
That's army book. But so overall, I mean, I think it. I actually don't think there's a problem with this lore. I think there's some challenges in the army, and the lore on top of those abilities is what makes
Correct,
things
which
seem
puts it a little
really
over the
good.
top.
Yeah, in some scenarios, but I really like the. I think the lore actually fits the army pretty well.
It does. The lore fits the army very well, and those lower casting costs where you're raising units,
Right.
healing wounds back is really good.
Yeah, and a lot of guys you're putting a lot of guys on. They're not powerful, so the
Correct.
and the ones that are more powerful, you're not putting that many wounds back on them, if any.
Well, you're putting max of 2, right?
Yeah,
For your large targets.
right.
Yeah. So, So, what do you think overall, Waldorf? I'm going to give this a thumbs up.
Yep, Statler's with a thumbs up also.
All right. Well, that is the Path of Sand.
Yes.
Thank you for listening.